Hi, Bill Stavrakis with the Biggin & Scott Monthly Wrap. Well, I could be accused for being a little bit tardy this month, running late, or perhaps even on Greek time, and that would be a fairly safe assumption, given that today we're filming from the beautiful island of Folegandros that you see behind me. The Folegandros Island is part of the Cyclades, which for those of you that are not aware is a set of islands in the Mediterranean, the most popular of course being Santorini and Mykonos. Folegandros is not as well known, but I've got to say, after my first visit here, it's an absolutely wonderful and picturesque environment. Probably not as commercialised as the former islands, but you get a real sense of what the Greek islands may have been like perhaps 20 or 30 years ago before commercialisation. Carly, Jack and Tom seem to be having a wonderful time by the pool, and I thought that 2 weeks in, it's probably a good idea that I get some work done and complete the market wrap for the month. Well, July saw some excellent results for our vendors and purchasers, with some spectacular results being achieved, particularly in the lower price points, say between $400,000 to $1 million. That segment of the market seems to be the most dynamic right now, with many first home buyers making their market auctions and negotiating private sales to get their foot into the real estate space. The market, which we feel has been perhaps affected the most by the tightening of monetary policy, is detached houses that sit anywhere between $2.5 to $4 million. That segment of the market seems to be tightening. There's probably less stock, less activity, but some terrific opportunities, particularly for those people that are upgrading from a smaller home into a larger property. Great value in that segment of the market, and it'll be a very interesting spring to see how that segment of the market performs, given that the stock levels we see are rising for the months of August and September and October. The highlight sale for the month was Unit 2 at number 8 St George's Road, Elsternwick. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the apartment space between that $400,000 to $1 million space is performing superbly right now, and that was demonstrated at the auction of St George's Road. The unique characteristics of this property brought out 7 bidders on the day. The apartment was by every account a spectacular example of Victorian architecture. Around 110 square metres of space with a north-facing courtyard and off-street parking. The property had been beautifully presented by our vendors and achieved an excellent outcome. Now, the record price of $1 million is a new benchmark for this category and the development itself, but it just goes to demonstrate that there is demand for premium property if it's presented and marketed correctly. Another outstanding outcome was Unit 5 at 154 Brighton Road in Ripponlea. Now, this apartment, interestingly, was on the market for private sale whilst the tenants were in occupation. A sale was not achieved. The price that was floated whilst the tenants were in the property was around $500,000. Now, once the tenants had left, our vendor took the advice. We decorated the property, hired some furniture, presented it beautifully, marketed it correctly, and what we found is that we had 3 bidders on the day, pushed the price up to $568,000. Now, if you consider the loss of rent and the additional investment of the staging and the decorating, it was by far the best way to approach the sale. We found that by doing the legwork, we got the result that was appropriate. Other excellent results included the sale of Unit 3 at number 24 Charles Street, Elsternwick. Now, our vendors entrusted us with the sale of this superb 1-bedroom courtyard apartment, and I can tell you the result was absolutely spectacular. With 1 bedroom, courtyard, off-street parking and a wonderful aspect over Harleston Park, the property sold for an outstanding sum of $538,000. Now, this is a new benchmark for the development, and again was an outstanding result, showing the depth of the buyer pool if the property is marketed correctly and, more importantly, offers the right attributes that the buyers are looking for. Other solid results for the month included 495 Kooyong Road, Elsternwick. Now, this Edwardian home had been beautifully presented by the owners. Again, it offered a versatile accommodation of up to 4 or 5 bedrooms on excellent freestanding land with pool and off-street parking. Walking distance to Gardenvale Station and shops along Martin Street made it a very attractive proposition for families, and I'm very pleased to say that a local family secured the property at $2,250,000, which represented excellent buying and an ideal opportunity to upgrade from their existing residence. So with the spring market just around the corner, now would be an excellent time to contact one of our friendly staff to discuss your real estate requirements. For the time being though, I think the Aegean beckons. I'm looking forward to seeing you all upon my return. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you out and about.